Hey everybody, this is going to be the new segment we're going to do called Football Tuesdays. Basically, I'm just going to sit here and talk about football. Right now, I'm going to focus on the Ravens, since most of family and friends are Ravens fans. But in the future, if you want me to talk about any other teams or just what's going on in the NFL, since I know not everyone is a Ravens fan, just comment below and let me know what you want me to talk about, and I'll try to get as much as I can out. So, yeah. First, I'm going to start off with the Ravens offense, which is actually looking pretty good this year since we finally had some continuity on our offensive coordinator from Mark Trestman. And we're finally getting some of our playmakers back since Joe Flacco, Justin Forsett, and Steve Smith were injured last year. But they're all coming back healthy and ready to go. Joe Flacco, in his preseason debut, looked really good. He had pretty much one off throw, and that was because he was getting pressure in his face. But other than that, he's shown he's already established a connection with our new free agent pickup, Mike Wallace, who used to torch us with the Steelers a couple years ago. They're looking pretty good. Also, we're going to have Steve Smith back, and he's going to come back with a vengeance, ready to go. Behind them, we have Rashad Perriman, who will finally get on the field. He'll possibly show up for the final preseason game, but he should be ready to go for Week 1. On top of that, we also have Michael Campanaro, who is he's always had some health issues these last couple of years, but when he's healthy, he's really good. He's proven to be a pretty consistent target, kind of like a Wes Welker type player, and Joe Flacco trusts him pretty well. So I expect him to kind of get some playing time when we're running slot receivers. Some pretty non-big name guys for the receiving core is Kamar Aiken and Jeremy Butler. Kamar Aiken, we kind of got a preview last year from what he could do for really showing up when the rest of the wide receiver core is injured. This year, he looks like he's going to continue on that, and he's shown that he really wants to make a statement. And he's probably going to split reps with Steve Smith almost 50-50, I can say, because he's really gone out there and he's shown he can make plays. The other name is Jeremy Butler. He was an undrafted player from a couple of years ago, and he's always had trouble he's always been a bubble player trying to make the team. This year he's really stood out in the preseason, and he's led the entire league in receptions and touchdowns for the last 2 games, and he's looking to carry that on into the actual season, and he's probably going to bite into some playing time there. In addition to that, we also have the Navy standout All-American Keenan Reynolds. He's a little bit of a long shot to make the team, honestly, because he's really struggling to pick up receiving ability since he was a quarterback, and most notably he was a running quarterback. So he's kind of struggled learning route concepts and had a little bit of trouble with hands. But if John Harbaugh is being a little lenient and he lets him stay on the team, he could eventually make a play for us a little bit down the road. For the running backs, we have a pretty good stable. No one's really stood out to, I guess, on a top 5 or top 10 running back level, but we should have a pretty good running game, and we should have a pretty consistent rotation. Justin Forsett is our starter. He hasn't done anything wrong to prove why someone else should start over him. But rookie Kenneth Dixon has really shown up, and he's pretty much going to probably take the number 2 spot behind Justin Forsett, and he's going to get a lot of those reps. He's shown everything you look for in a running back. He's blocked fairly well, and he can catch out the backfield. He does pretty much all you want. Terrence West, who was a Towson graduate and is finally with the team now, he's made his case to make the team, and he may push our 4th-round draft pick from last year, Buck Allen, out the door, because Buck Allen hasn't really done too much to prove why he should be on the team. He was a receiving threat last year, but running game, which is really his running back, and he hasn't really shown up for that. So he may get cut for that. Offensive line-wise, we're actually looking fairly decent. Ronnie Stanley is finally providing stability for that left tackle position because we pretty much had a revolving door. We drafted Michael Orr back in 2008. He didn't show up. And after that, we had Eugene Monroe and Bryant McKinney. Neither one of them stuck around for very long. So Ronnie Stanley finally shows some consistency and we should finally have Joe Flacco's blind side protected. For the left guard position, right now it's been given to our, I believe he's a third-year veteran, John Urschel. Super smart guy, obviously an MIT graduate. He's pretty much shown that he has a knack for being a starter, although he could get pushed for the absolutely huge Alex Lewis. The dude is just an absolute monster. Right now he's going to be listed as a backup, but he definitely has starting potential. The center position is being held down by veteran Jeremy Suta. No complaints with him. Doesn't do anything too outstanding, but he definitely doesn't cost us any plays. Right guard is being manned by Marshall Yanda. He's just simply the best offensive lineman in the game right now. There's no one that even comes close to him. So running the ball on that side should be pretty much positive yardage every time we do it. Right tackle is our pretty much only iffy position, but overall, I think we should be okay there. Even if we have to rotate a couple people out, it won't be too much of a problem since we're getting a lot of help from the other offensive line, and our running backs have been blocking okay. So even if we need to do some max protection for Joe Flacco on passing plays, we should be all right.
All right, so with the tight end group, we were going to start Benjamin Watson, who was the Saints starter last year. We picked him up this year because he had an absolute monster year. But unfortunately, we did lose him to an Achilles tear, so he'll be done for the season. The only lucky break we had for that is the fact that Dennis Pitta should be coming back soon. And we all know how he has a great connection with Joe Flacco since they are like best friends in real life. So once he gets on the field, hopefully his previous hip injury shouldn't come into play. He's been playing normally throughout, or the chances he has been on the field. And hopefully his finger injury won't affect his catching abilities too much. Behind him, we still have Crockett Gilmore, who was really good last season. He really wanted to only be a blocker, but he's shown that he can be so much more than that. And he can really be a pretty dominant tight end in this league if we use him in a proper manner. Behind him, we have Max Williams, the second-round pick last year. He broke the rookie tight end record for receptions and yards last year, and that, mind you, that was set by Todd Heap. So he has a lot of potential, and right now he's our third-string tight end. Behind them, we do have suspended tight ends Nick Boyle and Darren Waller. Both of them have shown that they can be pretty consistent contributors to the team, especially Darren Waller with a deep threat ability. But right now they are serving suspensions, so we don't have to worry about cutting them right now. But questions will come into play later on in the season when they do come back. Defensively, we have Lawrence Guy, Timmy Jernigan, and Brandon Williams manning the front line. All three of them are pretty big guys, and they really know how to push that offensive line and open up holes for our outside linebackers and middle linebackers to go in and make plays against the quarterbacks and running backs. One thing I want to say about behind them is we actually have some pretty good depth. As long as we don't really succumb to any injuries, we should be able to have a really good rotation on that defensive line and really keep consistent pressure and wear down the offensive line. So we should be able to show up later in games and really wear down the teams defensively rather than the reverse. Linebackers, outside linebacker, we finally have Terrell Suggs back. Hopefully he can make a big impact. He is coming back from a pretty bad injury, but we all know how the kind of high energy person he is. Hopefully he can do pretty well. For inside linebackers, we do have Zachary Orr, who's an undrafted free agent. He's going to continue on that long line of undrafted linebackers from Jamil McClain and Bart Scott, and hopefully he'll do well. He was my favorite to start next to C.J. Mosley, and he did get starting job, so we'll see how he plays in the regular season. On the opposite side of Terrell Suggs, we have Elvis Dumerville. Even if we don't have him playing, we have Zadarius Smith and Matt Judon, who are both bringing pretty good pass rush potential and can really make an impact this year. I know they're young guys, but they should really be able to step up and make an impact soon. Defensive backs, Eric Weddle is the guy back there. He's really commanding the defense, especially that defensive back unit, and he's really helping put everybody in place to make plays. The heads-up player to look for is Anthony Levine, who's playing a hybrid safety linebacker role. He's already made 2 interceptions and returned 1 for a touchdown, which it was during a 2-point conversion, so it only counted for 2 points. But either way, that was a big play right there, and it really helped us win that game. He's made a pretty big statement on why he should remain on the team, and I fully expect him to make plays later on in the season. Corners, no one really sticks out too much, but they shouldn't really have too much of a problem unless we're going against elite danger like Antonio Brown or AJ Green. We're going to have help against those type of receivers, but for the most part, we should be pretty consistent. The special teams unit kind of speaks for itself. Justin Tucker and Sam Cook are the best at it at their respective positions, and we really shouldn't have any problems with that. Right now, that's all I got for you. So hopefully if you have any questions, just leave a comment below, like, subscribe, and I'll see you all next week.